The childhood of every Slav. A 25-year-old game that was once installed on every single computer in Poland and its community. Throughout that quarter century, we aged a ton, but it feels like this masterpiece only seemed to get younger. How is that? Heroes of Might and Magic 3 is a turn-based strategy game with both timeless art style and gameplay loop. With creative factions, fortresses, art and even music, it almost feels like you could never get bored of this magical world. Unless you just can't ever win. That is exactly what happened to me during my childhood. Most clearly I can remember getting under the desk to hide from that ominous losing cutscene. And now this is kinda off topic, but this poor intro also scared me to death as a kid, because I feared the end of the world. I had one very funny run in Heroes 3 back then, where I thought I totally outsmarted the game by hiding in my castle and recruiting units upon units. And obviously with big surprise I got destroyed, epic style. Good thing though, sometime later when playing Heroes 3 HD edition, I gathered some skill. And what's most important, I got told about Horn of the Abyss by a friend. Now, every Heroes of Might and Magic player knows Heroes 3 HD edition is by far the worst way to play the game. You just don't get any of the expansions whatsoever. Hota though, which I got working through GOG's complete edition of Heroes, is for me so far the best way you can enjoy the whole franchise. Quality of life improvements, new story mode, new maps, new artifacts, 2 new castles, and it goes on and on. What is most important though, it gives an option called simultaneous turns, which means you don't have to wait for another player to end their turn to enjoy the game. Well, for most part. So again, this game series, which had its 7th installment already, has its biggest community sitting still in the 3rd game. What makes it so attractive? Heroes 3 gives you a lot of things to do. Management of economy, defense and siege of castles, fighting through the monsters scattered around the map, and leveling up your hero, getting all the skills and artifacts you want, and then also spells, and then clashing with the enemy's hero. It is basically like any Heroes game, but it almost feels perfected here with just how simply fun it is. Yet, after so many failed sequels, before us comes the Olden Era. In creation by a different studio this time, Unfrozen Studios, from what we've seen it has a lot of potential. Stylized in between 2D and 3D art, with developers who seem to know what made Heroes 3 so legendary, there is a ton of excitement to be had. While some might dislike its art style, the studio have said that they tried with realism and it just didn't look right. I myself absolutely adore it, because when you look at it, it looks like a map. Fog of War by default seems to be clouds on a map, but you also get an option to customize it. In the end, we can end this video by hating on Ubisoft because it has rights to this series, and I don't think anyone likes Ubisoft anymore. In the end, passion prevails.